Like many of the families here, my journey began when my daughter Emily, who is now 25 years old, was an infant and began exhibiting developmental delays. She had these strange eye movements and then had her first seizure at 8 months old. Like all of your kids, she's endured countless blood tests, MRIs, EEGs, hospitalizations, and I always say that Emily does this all with a smile on her face. She lives and thrives, CACNA1A. So Emily's very first genetic testing took place in 1997 when she was 6 months old, yet our diagnostic journey took over 20 years. When we finally received a diagnosis of a CAC-NA1A variant in 2018, I excitedly called our neurologist to ask about next steps. I thought, ooh, we're going to have a med change, and everything's going to be okay. But his response to me was what all of you have heard, which is that there are no specific treatment options for this disease, but I might want to search for a Facebook group. So thanks to Dr. Josh Rotenberg, and I don't know if he's in this room yet, but he's speaking this afternoon, and many of you know him as the admin of our Facebook group. The life of a special needs mom can be pretty isolating. It's busy, but lonely. In this group, I found my tribe. The kindness and support from the other parents was incredible. I realized we were all struggling with the same questions and there really weren't any good answers. It wasn't just about handling medical emergencies, but also quality of life issues. So together with a couple of other parents who I met through the Facebook group, who had also realized there was a dearth of resources and a need for more information, we launched the CACNA1A Foundation. So I like to think of the forming of the foundation as a purposeful odyssey. We're on a journey to find new therapeutics and one day a cure for our kids. And while it's important to celebrate our accomplishments over the last 2 years, we know there is a lot to do. We need to drive treatment forward. And as a parent-led group, we are driven by a sense of urgency. So we want you all to know that that is at the forefront of everything we do. I'd like to introduce you to our hardworking and passionate leadership because they are the backbone of this organization. So here are our board members. We're a working board, and all of us dedicate countless hours to running this organization as volunteers while maintaining busy lives. It's a selfless job, and you guys are rock stars. So thank you. Sunitha Malapati, who's our vice president, and I know many of you know Sunitha. Sunitha, you can wave if you'd like. There's Allison. Allison Buckner, she's Sammy's mom and she's our treasurer. And Amy Youngie, Amy's right back there, who recently joined us as secretary. And she's the mom of 3 children who have a CACNA1A variant. Our newest board member is Hala Mirza, and she's a former senior executive from Regeneron. I'd also like to acknowledge Carolyn Anderson. I haven't seen Carolyn. I don't even know where she is. Oh, there she is. Okay. So she recently stepped down from our board, and I'd like to thank her for her dedication and leadership over the last 2 years. I really need to thank our Scientific and Medical Advisory Board. We couldn't do what we are doing without their guidance and support. This is a really special group of physicians and researchers, and for those of the ones that are here, I hope you'll take the time to speak with them, because I know that they're interested in learning more about you, your kids, and how they can help. And we are forever grateful for their dedication to our cause. Peng Kong is both a CACNA1A parent and a scientist. Boy, we got lucky. During this conference, you may feel that some of the information you're hearing is too scientific, maybe over your head. But as family members, it's really important that we need to understand the science. And Sunitha's going to talk a little bit about this tomorrow. But it's just of utmost importance. And so that's really where Peng Kong comes in. She's our new science engagement director. Her job is to act as a liaison between the research world and all of our families, providing you with the support so that you can comfortably discuss CACNA1A with anyone who asks. So please reach out to her anytime you have a science-related question. So just know as we're building our leadership team, if you're interested in joining us, whether it be in a leadership role or as a volunteer and doing special projects or events, helping with social media, fundraising, know that there is a chair for you at our table. We can't do this alone. We're getting really tired and we need your help. So please contact us and we'd be thrilled to talk to you more about different opportunities. Our mission and our vision. These are our guiding lights, and I think it's really important to review them. You know, typically you go to a website and they're there, but you don't actually ever read it. So I'm going to read it to you so you know exactly what we're doing. Our mission is to find specific treatment options and a cure for CACNA1A patients by building a collaborative network of patients, families, clinicians, and scientists that will work together to raise awareness and accelerate the understanding, diagnosis, and treatment of CACNA1A related diseases. And our vision is a world free of the debilitating effects of CACNA1A related disorders. So, you know, as you've already heard from today, when, you know, Dr. Chung mentioned it, we can get there. Like there's no question we can get there. In a few minutes, I'm going to touch on some of our key accomplishments, and you'll see that they all embody these values. So collaboration. We believe that collaboration is the key to a cure. Our goal is to de-silo CACNA1A, which means that our scientists are not working independently, but collaborating, and not just with each other, because when patients and researchers work together, we can improve diagnosis and outcomes. We're purpose-driven. We are working with a sense of urgency and purpose to find treatments and cures, integrity and stewardship. We rely on funding from friends and family, who then go out and ask their friends and family to donate. As a result, it's really important that we maintain the highest levels of transparency and fiscal responsibility and are good stewards of our funds. Our history. We launched a foundation during COVID. And then obviously, as you heard from Wendy Chung, we organized and are funding a natural history study, which is an important research study that examines how our disease changes over time to help develop better treatments. We were invited to be part of the initial launch of RareX, which is a collaborative platform for rare disease data sharing that now includes 25 diseases, and we were part of the initial 10. On our website, where we have our natural history study, there's also a link to what we call the CACNA1A data collection system, whereby if you register your data, which is owned by you, be queried by researchers across diseases and common symptoms. So in addition to the natural history study, if you could go in and also do the RareX data platform, it's just another way of getting your data out into the world, and so I highly, highly suggest that you do that. We're funding translational research, which is research focused on a cure. We initiated a CACNA1A Awareness Day, which is now celebrated across the globe annually on March 19th. If you're wondering why March 19th, it's because we're on the 19th chromosome. That's where our gene is located. We're attending conferences, such as the American Epilepsy Society's annual conference, to develop collaborations and raise awareness. We had our first family and scientific conference virtually last July, and now here we are. And we recently published a roadmap to a cure. And we're working to become clinical trial ready, which I'm going to discuss in more detail in a minute. In October of last year, we were chosen as one of 30 rare disease organizations from over 200 applications to receive a Chan Zuckerberg Initiative Rare as One grant. This funding has already been transformative for our small organization. It's a restricted grant, so the funds cannot be used for research. We still have to fundraise for that. But the funding is being used to build our capacity, providing tools and trainings that will allow us to grow and focus on the work of curing disease. In addition, we're expanding our collaborative research network. We're developing an open science portal. We're hiring staff, research roundtable in September, and it will help to fund that. And it's also, the funds are also being used to address diversity-related challenges in research and to help with diagnosis of the underserved. As part of the program, we have weekly meetings with the Rare as One leadership team and other parent advisory group leaders, which gives us an opportunity to learn from them about lessons learned so that we can all grow and meet our challenges head on. They just had a convening in San Diego, and Allison, Sunitha, and I attended, and Dr. Jeff Nobles, who's one of our scientific advisory board members, he came with us. Just had this incredible weekend of learning, sharing, and collaborating. So that's a picture of us. So our goal is to get to the clinic. Sunitha and I attended a boot camp in April that was hosted by Global Genes and Ultragenics. There were lots of incredible presentations, and one of them was by Stanley Crook from nLorum, who said drug development takes time, money, and misery. Well, we're not there yet, but we are hoping to at least decrease that trajectory of it taking years and years to find therapeutics by accelerating research and becoming clinical trial ready. We are funding important infrastructure so that when we do have a therapy, whether it be a repurposed drug or a new drug or an antisense oligonucleotide, which is, you may have read about ASOs, or some other form of gene therapy, we are ready. First, we need to find our patient. And the elephant in the room is, how many patients do you have? Natural history study. We need you to enroll in that natural history study because that will give us a really good picture of our community and what CACNA1A mutations look like across the spectrum. Endpoints, which are something that you measure to see if a targeted therapeutic is working, those are actually pulled from that data. So it's really, really important. As an organization, we've taken on the responsibility of developing high-quality models. So we're developing a library of biospecimens, which is why we're collecting blood here. We will correlate those cell lines, so they're human cell lines, with clinical individual data. We're working with our scientists to characterize our variants so we can put them into specific buckets, loss of function and gain of function, and we're launching an open science portal. So you're going to hear about that tomorrow when Dr. Dennis Lal speaks. I do have to tell you about the meetings that led to the creation of this portal. If any of you attended our meeting last year, Dr. Jeff Nobles, in his talk at our conference, he mentioned this idea of a variant database, actually is what he referred to it as. And so that was a year ago, and here we are about to unveil that tomorrow. For the last 6 months, we've been having meetings with a group of clinicians and researchers from all over the world to put this portal together and talking about what do we need in order to develop this open science portal. The goal of this portal is to enable global aggregation of clinical, genetic, and molecular data. And it's, I don't know, nobody knows this, but at our, and I hope I'm not saying anything out of turn, but at our very last meeting, Dr. Anna Paduri from Boston Children's Hospital sent me a private message in the chat that said, wow, CACNA1A is de-siloed. It's really been quite incredible, and tomorrow, as I mentioned, you're going to hear more about this portal. And those monthly meetings made us just realize how valuable getting our scientists together in a room. Well, in this case, it's on Zoom, but a Zoom room, but how it really is. And so this September, we're going to launch a research roundtable, the goal of which is to promote collaboration to accelerate paths to treatments. And so our plan is to bring together researchers to discuss our next steps. And the 3 main topics that we've outlined are understanding genotype-phenotype, or variant symptom correlations, translational research and trial readiness, and then on the development of new CACNA1A therapies. So these are some of the affiliations and partnerships we've developed over the last 2 years. We're members of the National Organization of Rare Disorders, Eurordis, and CORD, which is the equivalent organizations in Europe and Canada. Global Genes is an organization that provides support and resources to the rare disease community. We're also very involved with the epilepsy and ataxia communities, are part of the Rare Disease Diversity Coalition, which helps raise awareness of rare disease for people of color, and are members of Combined Brain. It's a consortium of, I want to say 25, but I think it's up to 30, rare disease advocacy organizations that focus on neurodevelopmental diseases and is devoted to speeding the path to clinical treatments by pooling efforts, studies, and data. So the reason why we're able to collect so many blood specimens from so many of our patients and develop cell lines, because it's really expensive to develop a cell line, but it's because of the collaborative power of Combined Brain. And so we're obviously benefiting from that partnership. And as a result, we're able to share expertise, resources, and experts. Okay, so my takeaway. In a short period of time, the CACNA1A Foundation has accelerated collaboration among our expert community and recruited stakeholders to share clinical knowledge and science openly. As parents, we know we need to get closer to the discovery of new treatments and cures for our kids. And we're working tirelessly to do just that. My hope is that after spending 2 days of learning about our disease and where we're going, you'll leave here feeling empowered and optimistic. It makes me tear up just to think about it, but I really, you're all a part of this community, and we need to, the day-to-day of taking care of our kids is tough, but if we all come together and we can really, the future, we don't know what the future holds, and so we hope it's all good things, because science is on our side. But we can't do it without you. So please, if you're able to join us, we'd really love the help. Love to talk with you.